How's everybody doing today? Um, what you doing, buddy? Stop. How many of you out there got to, or took the time to watch the president's address to the nation? His first one, not address to the union, not to the state. This is the first address to the nation. This is his first one. Obama had a fucking bunch. But anyway, if you took the time to watch it, I hope you took the time to watch the Democratic rebuttal, which not totally unheard of. I mean, there was a rebuttal over Barack Obama's airtime back when he made the government hold out for the Obamacare. So, that's not too unprecedented of having a little bit of equal airtime, even though, as we know, President talked for like 10 minutes or something like that. And Schumer and Pelosi talked for like 5. But I watched them both. If you watched one, I hope you watched them both. And then afterwards, I watched a bunch of reactions from different news groups and different people. And in the end, there's a couple of different things. Let's take a hit. Let's jump in, take a hit first off. But he had some things that I wanted to look up and question. What's up, James? Things that I wanted to look up and make sure were true. So I did. I did my own fact checking. I didn't rely on CNN or ABC or CBS or any of them. I did it the old-fashioned way. And some of the things I found out is we have anywhere now. These are kind of guesses on the side of ICE on Border Patrol, but they're guessing that they have anywhere from 5 million to 11 million illegal refugee immigrants in the United States, where they have no idea where they're at. The numbers go from 5 million to 11 million. So you can either take the hard line or the soft line, whichever, but either way, that's a lot of people to lose track of and not know where they're at. So there's that. And then President Trump said that there are, last month, there was over 20,000 kids that came across the border. And if you go and look it up, the numbers are kind of weird. All right, what I found was that there were a little under 6,500 kids. I think it was like, I can't remember, it's like 6,300 something, or I think it was 6,200. But anyway, just under 6,500 kids came across the border alone. And then there was a little over 20,000 family units that came across. Now, they don't specify exactly how many people were in a family unit. So they could have up to maybe 10 kids in one family unit. So anyway, there could very well, my point is there could very well be 20,000 kids that came across the border, just not all alone. Some came with parents, some 6,065, a little under 6,500 came by themselves. The rest of them came in family units. So what Trump said was kind of close, but not really. I mean, there's only, like I said, 6,500 came alone. The other ones came in, I'll do it, Tara. I'll smoke for you right now. This hits for Tara. But anyway, so there could be, good hit. There could be 20,000 kids that came across the border. Really hard to tell. I mean, if you want to go and look at the information on the Border Patrol on ICE's database, you can go look. Man, it's confusing trying to get around in there. It took me a long time to find these numbers. Okay, another thing Trump did is he said that we are having a national crisis, not a national emergency, which was smart of him to do because it's not an emergency. You know, it's not like a bombing of the trade centers or something like that, or we got to set up a base out in the middle of some desert and Congress says no and the president says we can do it anyway because we need to, we got to have it. Well, this isn't quite that. This is just a national crisis. And what he came out saying, something different. What? All right, okay, I'll get to that later. All right, let's take another hit. Let's lay down some more numbers. He also said, that more people will die this year. More people die each year from drugs than in the Vietnam War. And I was like, wow, that can't be right. But I looked it up. Here's the deal. There was Vietnam total war U.S. casualty totals are 58,220. Now, I know that you got to think, wow, that's a lot. Drugs got to be really close to that for killing people. Well, no, take a big jump. Approximately 570,000 people a year die because of drug-related death. I'll say that again. 58,000 in Vietnam, 570,000 each year from drugs. The drag on the American economy is now, these numbers are soft too because everybody's got their own stats, but from what what I've read, it's anywhere from 120 billion to 150 billion a year. That's what the illegal immigration population costs the American taxpayer each year. 120 to 150 billion, not million, billion. And what Trump is asking for the wall is 5.7%, which is 0.07% of the national budget. That's it. He's just asking for 0.07% of the national budget to build the wall or barrier, whatever you want to call it, steel fence. I don't care. We need something to slow it down. We need something to slow down the drug trafficking. We need something to slow down the human trafficking. We need something to slow down the illegal immigration. I'm all for illegal immigration. Come through the front door after you've been vetted. That's all I'm asking. Come through legally. Like I said, if it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be here. He came here legally as a student, met my mom. Here I am. So, and here's the deal. I mean, Congress approves $5 billion all the time for things like interpretive chocolate dancing, where dancers rub chocolate on them and they bounce around the stage acting silly and retarded, and they'll spend $6 billion for underwater BB stacking and $6 million for underwater basket weaving, but we can't spend $5.7 billion on something that would slow down the drug trade, something that would slow down the human trafficking, something that would slow down illegal immigration, something that would definitely benefit us, and the burden on our tax dollars. It's not a stop all fix gap. It's, of course, people will find ways around the wall. I don't doubt that. I'm saying if we slow it down by 10%, the wall will figuratively have paid for itself the first year if the drag on the economy goes down $10 billion. Trump also made this ludicrous statement about the trade deal paying for the wall in Mexico. I looked it up. As far as I can tell, I don't see how it'll happen. Hold on, let's take a hit. Unless he's talking about bringing jobs back to the U.S., those jobs paying its workers, those workers taking their money and turning around and paying the IRS and paying taxes in their home state. That's the long end run of the trickle down for that. So I don't understand his deal about a trade agreement with Mexico somehow paying for the barrier. That's kind of ludicrous. That's not going to happen. But it could slow down immigration enough to make it so the drag on the economy goes down, and therefore, in a sense, pays for it. And then Trump also talked about how the illegal aliens are killing U.S. citizens and Americans, and that's true. That is happening. We are suffering losses at the hands of illegal aliens. We suffer losses at the hands of humans, period. But it seems to be that if you look at the numbers, they commit a little bit. Well, they don't. It's not a little bit. It's quite a bit higher rate percentage of illegal aliens commit these crimes because they feel they are being protected by these shelter cities, and it's whatever, crazy. They're the ones that have to deal with it. Even though people are moving out of these places in droves. You can look that up too, see where people are moving out of. It's kind of interesting. Munch, come on, dude, get back. All right, and then like I said, not only do you got to watch Trump, but you also got to watch Schumer and Pelosi to hear what they said. And it's really hard to listen to Schumer and Pelosi talk about the wall the way they were talking about the wall when I can go back and watch video of them when they were talking about the wall in a much different way. You know, I remember when they talked about the need for a wall and need for a barrier, when need to stop illegal immigration. So it's hard to take them seriously at all. That, and let's face it, they look like they were the zombies. You know, they look like Walking Dead. Schumer and Pelosi did. They looked fucking horrible. Oh my God, it was terrible to watch. So, I mean, that's about where we're at. I mean, that's what I found that was wrong. And then, hold on a minute. Here's what I would have done. I'm going to tell you this one, cleaning out my bowl. I would have started out telling them about the silly, retarded, frivolous spending that Congress does, like I said, for interpretive dance, you know, and underwater BB stacking and all those, because there are a lot of stupid, frivolous things that Congress gives money for. Lots of money, not just a little bit, a lot. Then I would have moved on to the border, and I would have called it a crisis, but I wouldn't have made it such a blood and gore type of deal. I would have said it's a problem that's been plaguing America for the past 50 years or more. This is the systemic flow of illegal immigration is a drain on society, and then given some numbers, and then said we need to fix this problem now. Now is the time to fix it. You know, let's get a barrier up and let's get some technology and let's slow down the drug trade, the human trafficking trade. Let's slow down illegal immigration. Let's bring down the drag on our society. You know, let's do all that. That's what I would have said. And you know, luckily for Trump, because there's a difference between rally Trump, which you see where he's talking on the fly and he's kind of funny and he's arrogant, and you know, that's what we've expected from Trump and him. You know, we've expected this off the cuff, you know, winging it, you know, everything's beautiful, it's the best. And the teleprompter Trump is rather cold and emotionless. So the point he got across was generally correct. We have a lot of drugs and human trafficking and illegal immigration coming across the border. We do need a wall. A wall will slow it down. A wall will start showing that we care about our borders and Americans. Let's take a hit. I'm getting stoned as fuck. If you're smoking with me, I hope you are too. And always remember, I'm a stoner. These are my, I look things up and I read, sure, but these are always just my opinions. Okay, that's all they are. If you don't like what I have to say, if you disagree with me, by all means, go out and look them up for yourself. Fact check me. I love learning new shit. If you can prove something that I said and prove me wrong, do it. Man, I love that shit. I can't think of a whole lot more, guys. That was my whole rant. Let's take another hit. I love all you fuckers. Peace. Woo! Stay high, bitches.